Hey there, it's Josh with Piano Frenzy, and in today's video we're going to talk about should you buy a keyboard or a real piano. Let's get into it. By the way, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. That way you can know when our next video is coming out and you can talk with us. It'd be a fun conversation. So the debate around purchasing a real acoustic piano or using a digital keyboard has been going around for a long time. There are benefits to both, there are perks to both. What I want to do is help you make the decision based on whatever your particular situation and what your needs are. So the first thing you want to consider when it comes to whether you want to purchase an acoustic piano or a digital keyboard is the amount of space you have. Now, pianos come in all shapes and sizes, right? We've got grand pianos like this one, which take up the most space, right? Anywhere from 5 feet to 9 feet if you're going to purchase a Steinway or something, a 9-foot Steinway D. Versus, maybe an upright piano, right? Which everything's vertical and it takes up maybe 5 feet wide, but maybe 3 or 4 feet coming out. And that's a lot better if you're maybe in an apartment or something like that. The one big thing you want to keep in mind when you're purchasing a piano is just that, like how much space do you have? If you're gonna get a 5'8" piano such as what I have here, then you might want 7 feet of room so that you can comfortably sit in here. Otherwise, your wall and your room is gonna be right up on your back. You have no space for your bench to be at so you can sit up on your piano. The other thing to consider is if you're gonna go buy an upright piano is how tall to the ceiling does that go? And also consider the space coming in and out as well. Upright pianos are great for putting on inside walls or near windows and things like that. But you wanna make sure that wherever you set your acoustic piano up, it's not up on a door or a walkway because it can be in the way. If you are ultra tight on space, then this is where a digital piano really comes into play. It only goes out as far as the keys, the length of the keys. In fact, I'll show you an example of this. All right, so I've got my digital piano here. As you can see, it's only as wide as that, right? Not too wide. And so you can fit this in a lot of places. And so the one benefit of this is because this is a freestanding piano, you can sit it on a music stand and you don't have to worry about it taking up much room. Now, where things might get a little more complicated is if you're gonna purchase maybe a piano console, right? Then you'll have like the music stand built into it, you have more backspace, and those might go out closer to what you'll see with an upright piano. And that's where things might get a little bit more complicated. But I think digital pianos are great if you're tight on space and you just need something to be like right there in a small little area. So the next thing you want to consider when you're deciding between purchasing an acoustic piano or a digital piano is your budget. Now, pianos go for all sorts of prices, but in general, if you're gonna purchase a digital piano, you might be spending anywhere from $200 to $300 for a lower end one, or you can spend anywhere as much as $1,000 for something more higher quality like the one I showed you earlier in the video. It all depends what features you're looking for out of the piano. Acoustic pianos are a bit different. They tend to cost significantly more than their digital counterparts. Starting with uprights, a quality upright is gonna cost you at least $3,000. And then there's also some really high quality upright pianos that can cost you anywhere as much as $10,000. Some quality upright pianos I would consider would be like the Yamaha U1 or any of the Kawai uprights, and certainly any of the Steinway uprights. Now, the beautiful thing about upright pianos is that they do cost a lot less on the used market. There's a lot of cases where you can just go on eBay or Craigslist or even Facebook Marketplace and you can get one for free. People are giving them away all the time. And a lot of times they're giving them away because they either are not committed to playing the piano anymore, they just want to get rid of it, or some people are just simply downsizing and they got to get rid of it fast. Although you should be prepared to have a pickup truck or something ready to go get the piano because usually they don't deliver. Now, coming to the top of the budget is the grand piano. Now, grand pianos are the most finesse pianos, they're the most high quality, they're also going to cost the most. So a typical grand piano right now might cost you about $10,000, and that's just for kind of a basic one. With inflation, prices have risen, the cost of lumber, the cost of parts and labor, things are just kind of out of hand. For example, this piano here costs about 3 times as much as it did 10 years ago, which is kind of nuts. Now, if you do have the budget, I would definitely go for the grand piano. You're gonna get the best results, you're gonna get the most refinement, and it's just gonna be a piano that is gonna do whatever you ask it to do. As far as which brands of grand pianos you should buy, I mean, there's a couple options, right? You've got Yamaha, you've got Steinway, of course, which is going to be, anywhere north of $100,000. And then you've got some lower end brands like Kawai, and you've got just older pianos that they don't make anymore, right? Like Baldwin's. You have Young Chang, you've got Broadman, Seiler, Samick. There's just a ton of options out there. If you're a beginner pianist and you're not taking this too seriously yet, don't worry about trying to get a Yamaha or Steinway. Go for something that kind of fits in that $10,000 range, and I think you'll be plenty happy. Now, if the grand piano is totally out of your budget, there are some awesome uprights that you can still get. Like I said, there's a Yamaha U1, which is kind of at the top of the line. There's also some just basic Yamaha, some older models that work really well. There's Kohler and Campbell's, there's Baldwin's. There's just a ton of options you have with upright pianos. And as I said, you can get a lot of these for free and they're in great condition. If you're going to go for a digital keyboard, I would actually spend the money and get a console rather than just a standalone digital piano. There's a couple reasons for it. One, when you're dealing with a music stand, your piano might wobble when you're playing it. You don't want that. You want an experience where you can just sit down, play, and you can feel that security and not have your hands shaking around. Now, when it comes to which brand to purchase, when it comes to digital pianos, I would just say go for Yamaha right away. Yamaha gives you everything you're looking for. They've got the patented hammer action. Everything just works really well at Yamaha. You've got great sound effects. You've got some versatility with the keyboard. You can hook it up to your computer. You can add in drum presets, and they have accompaniments built into the pianos. And I would go for a Yamaha console rather than just a standalone piano. So another thing you want to really make sure you're considering when it comes to deciding what type of piano to purchase is how committed you are. The commitment to the piano is a big part of your progress, right? If you don't practice, if you're not consistent, if you don't take it seriously, if you're not in private lessons, if you're just kind of doing this for fun, then you're gonna have a lot of issues. And the worst thing you could have is an expensive instrument sitting in your home that is just collecting dust. So if you're not one of those people that's really taking it seriously, I wouldn't buy a grand piano for sure. And I might not even buy an upright piano unless you just really want good quality. I would just go for a digital piano. Now, digital pianos can become expensive as well, especially when you start buying consoles. To which I make this point now. If you're also really not committed to that, just get a cheap digital piano that you can put on a stand and play it. Now, the reason I put it this way is because you want to just kind of be real about what's going on. It would really stink to have a $1,200 keyboard console sort of system, a really nice, maybe even $2,000 Yamaha sitting in your living room that's just collecting dust and not being played. That's almost as bad as having an upright or a grand piano that's not being played. So let's say you've taken this information in and you decided that you actually do want to get a digital piano. Well, I think that's great news. You're really going to enjoy it. But let's make sure you have a great investment. So when you purchase a digital piano, one of the biggest things you want to look for is hammer action or hammer weighted action, whatever combination of the word. You want to make sure that the keys have some weight to them and they have action that simulates the hammers that a grand piano has. So hammer action keys are typically going to be thicker, right? When you press them down, you're going to have that resistance, and then they're going to have that touch weight that pushes back up. So you want to make sure you have that. A lot of digital pianos, especially cheap ones, have flat keys with no resistance. Those are the ones you want to avoid. You also want to consider what kind of accessories comes with your piano. For example, you want to make sure that you can put a pedal with it that resembles a real piano, right? You don't want those flat square pedals. Those are the worst ones. You'll never develop great pedal technique with those. You also want to make sure you can outfit your piano with a music stand attachment. This one, for example, has a music stand attachment in the back where you can put them in, and then you can read your sheet music there. And then if you decide to buy a console, those are built in here on the top usually. Those are really nice, and those really resemble what a grand piano would have. You want to make sure your piano has tons of versatility, which means you can hook it up to other devices like computers. You can record it. It has a MIDI function. You want to make sure it has all of those things so that not only you can use it as a practicing instrument, but you can use it to record, you can use it to be creative and try out different projects. And you just really want to make sure that you can get the most out of your instrument. I've also seen a lot of really great digital pianos that have metronomes built in. Again, if you get one of those, make sure the metronome has a function where you can actually set the tempo and see what speed you're going at, rather than one that just has an up and down button, because usually you can't tell exactly what the speed is, and those are really hard to control, just in my personal experience. So make sure that you've got like some digital screen or LED on the front where you can see what's happening with your options, especially with the metronome and things like that. I would also look for a digital piano that has a transposition function. And this is not to help you kind of cheat and be able to play keys without having to change your hand position, but this is more about training your ear. You want to be able to hear what pieces sound like in different keys. And if you're not real versed in moving around and transposing manually yet, it can help have that function, and then you can kind of build in those skills over time. And last but not least, whichever digital piano you decide to purchase, make sure you buy it from a reputable company. I've seen too many people cheap out on digital pianos and say, hey, you know, this one costs $200. It's like, yes, but where's that brand? How new are they? What's the quality of the build? Is everything just made out of plastic, or is there some metal, or there's some, you know, buff to your instrument, right? Is it gonna break down? What's the warranty? What's the overall reputation of the company? So with that said, I would just keep it to companies we all know. Roland, Yamaha, Kurzweil, Kawai even has some awesome digital grand pianos if you want to really take it up a notch from just a basic console. So the brand really does matter. I would kind of stick to those brands and not go really past that. Casio also makes a nice preview instrument that I think works really well. And then beyond that, I kind of would not experiment with any other brand. All right, and the final point I want to make in this video is you're making the decision. Let's say that you decided an acoustic piano is the route you want to go. Well, that's awesome. I think you're gonna have years and years of just amazing enjoyment from playing a piano with real hammers, real keys, real wood, real metal, all of those functions that just give you that natural feel when you're playing. When you purchase a real piano, you do not need to purchase the most expensive piano out there. And I highly encourage you to kind of shop around with this. The used piano market is actually a great place to get great deals on quality pianos. A lot of times on the used market, people are just trying to downsize. They're just trying to get rid of their pianos, and they want somebody that's going to take good care of it. They want to put it in good hands. So if you do purchase a used piano, I'm more inclined to go shop on like a marketplace, an online marketplace like eBay, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, rather than going to the dealership. The issue with shopping with a piano dealership is you're going to get charged way more than that piano is worth because they want to make money. And look, it's their right to want to make money. I actually support that, but I also understand that it's your right as a customer to not get ripped off for something that's just not worth it. Now, as far as which brands you can buy, I mentioned some of these earlier, but I would stick to Yamaha, I would stick to Baldwin, you know, some of the older brands, Kawai, Seiler, Yongcheng, all those are great brands. It depends how serious you are about playing the piano. If you're more advanced and you got your eyes on a Steinway, I think that's great, but understand that Steinways are like buying a car or two or three. And now, look, I'm a huge fan of a Steinway. If I could purchase one, that would be the piano I purchased. But understand that you don't have to always go shooting for the stars when it comes to purchasing a piano. You just need something that's going to do what you need to do. If you do go for an acoustic piano and you feel like you're an intermediate player to advanced and you're taking it seriously, go for a grand piano. There are plenty of grand pianos within reasonable budgets. I've seen pianos being sold for as little as $3,000 to $5,000 of good quality brands. People are just trying to get rid of them. And of course, whenever you do purchase an acoustic piano, you need to go test it out, try it out, go play it, give it a test run, and not just one test run, give it another one and see how you really feel about it. The worst thing you can do is purchase a piano, get it to your home, not like it, and then not have the ability to be able to send it back. In that case, if you feel like you're one of those people that just wants to get it in and try it in the home, maybe you should buy it from a dealership because they do have return policies. You're able to send it back if you don't like it. But I highly encourage you just to go into the shop and play them, go to the person's home and play the piano that you're looking to purchase, and really make sure you get in tune with it. With a digital piano, you don't really need to do that. It is kind of what it is, and you kind of know that going in, and you won't feel a huge difference between one and the next. Ultimately, if you want to buy a new piano, I think that's a great choice too. I just personally would go for a used piano first if you're really looking to cut your costs and you're trying to stick within your budget. So I hope this video was helpful. I know purchasing a digital piano or an acoustic piano is a tricky decision. There's so many things to look at. If I were you in your shoes, I would definitely think about what kind of space do I have, how serious am I about it, and what's my budget, and make your decision based on that. And then from there, kind of say, okay, what end of the spectrum am I on? Am I on the low end of the digital and acoustic pianos? Am I in the mid tier? Am I on the upper end? Where do I want to purchase at? And then kind of base it on that. There is no right or wrong. Ultimately, an acoustic piano is going to be the best option for your development. However, technology has come a long way, and digital pianos are doing just some amazing things, and there are just some great ones you could go for. Definitely go for a console sort of style if you're going to go for a digital piano though, and I think you'll be just as happy with the results. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. So with that said, Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.